The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of DigiAll. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to DigiAll Tech News. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. President Donald Trump has signed an order giving federal agencies voluntary early access to powerful AI models before they reach the public. Humanoid robots are drawing bigger investor bets, with analysts pointing to China's manufacturing scale as a major early advantage. Microsoft is testing a desk cube and wearable badge as early AI gadgets for office workers. Microsoft and Mayo Clinic are building a specialized health AI model meant to be safer than general-purpose chatbots. Dreams of Violets is heading to Tribeca as the first fully AI-generated live-action feature, accepted by a major film festival. Let's start with Washington, because this is a careful attempt to look inside frontier AI, without calling it licensing. On June 2nd, President Trump signed an executive order directing agencies, including the Defense Department, Treasury, and CISA, to set up voluntary safety and security testing for the most powerful models before public release. Leading companies such as Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google would give the government access up to 30 days in advance, a shorter window than the 90 days in an earlier draft. And the order explicitly rejects mandatory pre-clearance. That matters because the government wants warning time on models that could identify critical software vulnerabilities or be misused by autonomous agents. But the administration is still trying not to slow the US lead over China. The order also creates an AI cybersecurity clearinghouse with Treasury, the NSA, and DHS, and tells the Attorney General to prioritize AI-related crimes, especially unlawful data access by autonomous agents. The bigger question is whether voluntary cooperation is enough when the models get more capable. A 30-day preview can be meaningful, but only if companies participate, tests are concrete, and the security findings turn into action before release. Now to the AI boom getting a body. Barclays sees the humanoid robot market growing from roughly $2 to $3 billion today to $200 billion by 2035, while Wedbush analyst Dan Ives is talking about trillions of dollars opportunity over the next decade. Those are big projections, so the useful part is the evidence of where deployment is already happening. China accounted for 85% of humanoid installations last year, produces units at roughly half the cost of Western rivals in the $50,000 range, and installed nearly 300,000 industrial robots compared with 34,000 in the US. Its robot density has climbed 600% since 2016. In practical terms, this is not only about a friendly robot in the home. Analysts describe a first wave through 2030 in manufacturing, logistics, agriculture, and construction, followed by healthcare, elderly care, education, and hospitality after that. Tesla's Optimus is the high-profile consumer-facing bet, but the near-term pressure is industrial. Who can build reliable machines at scale, place them where labor is repetitive or scarce, and make the economics work before the household version becomes normal? Here's what's interesting about Microsoft's prototypes. The company is not just asking whether AI can answer questions. It is asking where AI should physically live during the workday. Executive Stephen Batish showed two concepts at Microsoft's annual developer conference: a small portable desk cube with a touch and voice-activated screen, and a wearable badge that can hang around the neck or clip to a belt loop. Satya Nadella called them a new form factor for computing, and the devices are in limited internal pilots with a few hundred Microsoft employees as part of Project Solara. The pitch is quick access to AI agents, meaning autonomous bots that can handle tasks like software coding or workplace assistance. But Microsoft also carries the memory of HoloLens, its mixed reality headset line that was discontinued in 2024 after years of development and reported usability problems in US Army testing. So, the real test is not whether a badge can summon an assistant. It is whether office workers trust a wearable AI interface enough to use it naturally, and whether companies can make privacy and workflow integration feel helpful rather than intrusive. Health is where the chatbot problem becomes personal very quickly. Tens of millions of people are already asking mainstream AI tools for medical advice, but broad internet-trained systems can still give inaccurate or dangerous answers. Microsoft and Mayo Clinic are trying a more controlled path, a specialized model owned by Mayo, trained on anonymized patient records, clinical research, and Mayo clinicians' expertise. It will first be tested by Mayo professionals for accuracy before any broader rollout. Possible uses include clinician tools inside Mayo hospitals, a patient-facing assistant in the hospital portal to explain diagnoses, treatment options and preventive care, and better health responses inside Microsoft Copilot. Mayo CEO Gianrico Farrugia says the combination of high-quality medical data and clinical input should lead to better outcomes, while Microsoft AI CEO Mustafa Suleyman is setting expectations carefully, saying the work will take many years before it can be trusted for high-stakes consumer use. That restraint is important. The promise is not an all-knowing doctor bot. It is a narrower system with better data, clinical review, and a safer route into the places where patients already seek help. And finally, a film story that sits right on the line between technological possibility and artistic unease. Dreams of Violets is a 75-minute fictional drama about Iran's January 2026 anti-government protests and the brutal crackdown that followed, with some estimates putting the death toll above 30,000. Iranian-British director Ash Kusha created every image and character with AI, describing physical appearances based on people he has known while avoiding direct resemblances to living individuals because of security risks in Iran. The script was written traditionally, with Claude used only for language and structure. Kusha voice-acted all the roles before AI modification, composed the score, and edited without AI. The practical shock is cost and speed, 2.5 months of evening work, under $2,000, for visuals that traditional CGI could have pushed into the millions. Kusha argues this lets filmmakers make impossible movies at news cycle speed, especially stories that might otherwise be too dangerous or too expensive. But the pushback is just as real. With many festivals reluctant to be first, Hollywood voices split, and an unresolved question for audiences. When characters are generated and performances are transformed, what exactly are we responding to? The image, the human intention behind it, or both? Today's through line is that AI is moving into higher stakes territory. National security reviews before model release, robots entering physical work, workplace assistants becoming devices, medical advice getting clinical guardrails, and filmmaking testing what audiences will accept. The common theme is not just capability, it is trust, control, and who gets to decide when an AI system is ready for the real world. Thank you for staying informed with Digital Tech News. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.